Howdy Instagram, back here to interview one of our students from our 5 Steps to Millions mentorship program, which is our 12-month signature program to help people get their money in order and find out how it can buy them happiness, which is super exciting. So this particular one is a young lady named Heidi. So hopefully she jumps on and we can interview her so I can give you some real results. What I love about her story is just her ability to transform her mindset, which is done, and she's taken some drastic, bold steps on just repositioning her life in terms of her finances and her happiness, and it's just an awesome story. So she's had some great breakthroughs, and so I'm excited to bring her on and interview her. So what's up, Christy? Good to see you. Australian Gladiator, that's a cool name. What's up? C. Listo joined. Good to see you. Lewis, good to see you, mate. How you traveling? Leanne Jones, nice to see you. How's things in Melbourne? Nice and cold? No, it'd be hot now. I think you never know with Melbourne. G'day, James. Sorry, mate. Been a while. Looking forward to it. You can call me James if you want. That's my middle name. MMTMBC joined. What's up? I'll just give you a wave. Let's see if... Is that Heidi? Heidi, you there? I just messaged her on WhatsApp, so we'll see. You just got to give me a wave, Heidi. Just say, hey, this is me. We'll wait for her to jump on. Anyway, so it's going to be an awesome story. She's had great success. She's taken a really bold step in terms of where she spends the time, which is really exciting. So it's actually just included in our new book. She's just jumped on here. So Night Heidi 23. Let's bring her on. This is going to be exciting. Night Heidi 23. Part of the process to, encourage people to move outside their comfort zone. Hey!
Hey Lloyd.
How are ya?
Good, I'm good. How are you?
That's good. Great. You look very glowy.
Oh, yeah, had a bit of sun.
Yeah, you look nice and glowing, and get your Christmas tree up there.
Yes.
Showing off your
Kids
Christmas
helped
tree
with
too.
that, so that was a bit exciting.
That's cool. That's good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. Is this your first Instagram live?
It is, yes, my very, very first.
How are you feeling about that?
Oh, I'm good. I'm a bit nervous, to be honest.
Yep.
But I don't know, I'm excited as well.
Yeah.
Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I just did a little intro about your story about how you've been able to do that. But what I'm impressed about is you've taken some bold steps to change your mindset and change how, your future of your finances but I think just in general your life. And I think back to that first call we had, because if everyone doesn't know, Heidi's in our signature 12-month program. And I don't remember the first call we had.
Yeah, I do. Yes.
And you just transformed so much. I think even physiologically, like I feel like we won't get to it. Let's start from the beginning. So I'll let you do the talking. I talk too much. So why don't you take me back? What was life like before we started working together? Only 6 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Right?
July, August, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very different. My mindset was very different. I was just not enjoying where I was at the minute. I was stagnant. I was not sure what to do or where to go. I was quite down and in the dumps. And actually, on our very first call, the very first time I met you and the very first time I started talking to you, I burst into tears and I was just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Why did you burst into tears? What was going on in your world? What was it that did that?
I think I was just stuck, and you're just asking some really hard home truths about where I was and what I was doing and why I was doing them. And I was just like, what the heck? And I don't just talk to strangers and be vulnerable and tell you my life story. And you just were asking me hard questions, and I was like, shit, I have to deal with this right now.
Because you're in your car, right? If I remember rightly.
Yeah, I was sitting in a park, like a trail, like just from work. I literally just left work, finished at 2:30, and raced to my car and just had to go sit somewhere in the shade.
And then I start the conversation off without worrying about the cappuccino level questions, and we got right to it.
Yeah.
So Do you remember any specific question that was most challenging in that first call?
Yeah, you asked me what I did for work and why I was doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and asked if that's what I actually wanted to do. And I was just like, oh, no, it's not. And then you were like, then why are you doing it? And I was like, ugh, I have no idea why.
Yeah, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun to do that with you. Um, it does lend itself to how you had some breakthroughs, which we'll get to. So, what was it before we get to that first call and starting the program? What was the one thing that happened in your life that you thought I need to make a change here? Like, what was it? Was obviously you felt stuck, which I understood. But was anything, any particular event or something that happened, and you thought, you know what, I need to actually take some drastic action here and start with someone and get some help?
Yeah, I was just on this roller coaster day in, day out. Like I was just going to work, making money to pay the bills, to come home. And that was it. I was just like, oh, there's got to be more to life than just go to work, pay the bills, come home and repeat. Like it was just, I just always felt like there was something more in me, and that I just had this burning fire in me, but it was just kind of squashed at that moment. I didn't know how to break free from it. I didn't want to keep doing the same thing because I knew that like it's just kind of just settling for mediocre, and I didn't want mediocre, and I knew I didn't want mediocre. I wanted more than that, and I just
Yeah.
didn't know how to get there.
Yeah, very good. That's very common, right? So, congratulations on investing in yourself and starting. I know it was challenging for you.
Yeah.
I don't normally do this, but I think we did two calls. I rarely do that, but I think we had some stuff to unpack and get through. So I did two with you, I think. So we need a
Yeah.
follow-up call together. Do you remember on that call? What I remember this because part of shifting your wealth, and I was talking this about with a friend the other day. Might have been with Morgan at our event on the weekend, but um, do you remember how we talked about your identity?
Yeah, who I was.
Yeah, but do you remember how we gave you a new alter ego?
Yes, yeah.
What was the alter ego we gave you or you chose?
Um, the new one,
Yeah.
Transformational Heidi.
So that was your word that you chose to actually start living into and to shift your identity around, changing your mindset
Yeah.
to someone who can innovate and pivot and grow, right?
Yeah.
Did that help you a lot when we did that?
I think it did. I think initially at the time when I was doing it, I didn't, because I was like, what is this? Like, I don't even understand, but I want something different. So, I need to do something different. And this is what it was. So I was like, okay, Transformational Heidi, here it is. What is it? Trying to work that out. And, yeah, so at the start I thought it was just a bit weird, but then as I worked with you and went on, and you being my mentor, it just changed so much.
Yeah. You started to live into that. We needed someone for you to become.
Yeah.
And you don't know who that is, so you have to choose a word to actually step into that. And I know that helped you because when we ran our you were coming to the call, so you were leaning into that name, and I think it was great to see you. I think it opened you up to change.
Yeah,
um,
for sure.
right, and that's the hardest thing. It's actually being open, because if you can't open yourself up, I couldn't have helped you. I was like, oh, I can help you if you're not open to change.
Yeah.
So I think the first bit of that time together was just opening you up ready, like an onion, shave off a few layers, and so
Yeah.
this is about finances, everybody. We are talking about money and finances here, but this is most of it. 80% of it's your behavior. So
Yeah.
you had to get in the right mindset. So you were coachable, which is a very wonderful thing to be. And so part of that journey for you was we were running our 1-day event. Our 3-day event, our mind and money accelerator. And part of that process for you to be transformational Heidi was to actually come to that, which would have been way outside your comfort zone. And
Absolutely.
and you weren't gonna come, right? Like, were you on the fence?
Um, at the start I was like, oh no, I can't do that. And then I think I got an email and I was just like, in my head, I was like, what would Lloyd do? And I was like, I have no,
WWLD. That's cool.
yeah, I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this or how I'm going to make it work. Because, you know, I was a single mum and I had no one to look after my kids. I've got very limited family support and stuff. So it's stuff that I had to do on my own. So I was like, how am I going to make this happen? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy the ticket. I'm just going to go all in, because if I don't go all in, nothing's going to change. So I was like, stuff it. I'll just buy the ticket. I bought the ticket and I was like, how am I going to make this work? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll work it out. Everything else will work out. So then I was like, oh, I've got to organize my kids first and foremost. I've got to have time off work. I've got to organize so many other things, like, you know, being a single mum, and I'm sure anyone that's watching this that's a single mum will know those constraints that you have. And, you know, having to still pay your rent and to pay your bills still. So having time off is just crazy. I mean, not only that, like, I'm a casual nurse, so if I don't work, I don't get paid. So I really have to time it right. So it was a big thing, but I'm so, so, so glad that I went to that, because it changed so much. I was already felt the change from just working with you, and you being my mentor, but going to that 3-day event was so crazy. It was just life-changing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was glad to see you there, because, you know, sometimes you don't know what people like. The good news is when you come into the environment of the mentorship program, you are in a new environment. So you get it, you get influenced in a good way. So that it does help to have that. So it gets you into places you didn't think you'd ever be. So that's good. But
yeah,
it was a growth experience for you just getting there, by the sounds of it. So like
yeah,
all those obstacles and excuses you could have had, which obviously there are a number of them, just moving through them to show up was the personal development.
yeah,
It
for
was the
sure.
beginning of it, right? Because you walk in that room and you're like, hey, I'm Transformational Heidi. I'm here because I'm transformed, because I'm living in the identity. Because the opposite Heidi wouldn't have done that. She would have stayed at home, not said yes to anything, right? So, and you didn't want to be her anymore. You wanted to shift.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I know you didn't know what to expect. We went through that experience together, and it's a transformational event. And at the end of it, you had changed.
Yeah. Yeah, a
And
lot. My perspective on a lot of things was crazily shaken.
yes, because what happened was you went home and you made because I remember when we started talking, you were, so I don't know what I want to do right now. I don't know if I want to be a nurse. I'm studying my master's. And I would have challenged you on that too, because, you know, I'd be like, why?
Yeah.
And so tell us what happened since then. What's happened since then? What decisions have you made to shift your life?
So I'm a enrolled nurse at the moment, and I was studying to be a registered nurse, and I had literally had 6 months to go, and I withdrew from my uni degree, and it took me after that. It didn't take me very long, but it still took me a good week or so to come up with that final decision to withdraw from it, because I actually knew that it wasn't aligning with what I actually wanted to do. So I do love people and I love helping, but I want to help in a different capacity, and I want to get out of that. I want to get out of that 9-to-5 life and just be able to work where I want on my terms for myself, and be able to be there for my kids and to show them that you don't actually have to follow the, you know, society's the way they've taught us that we need to be. You know, you need to go work a 9-to-5 job and, you know, do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I withdrew from my uni degree, and I feel good about it, but trying to get past those beliefs and what other people might think of you. And like, don't get me wrong, I've had people go, oh, why did you withdraw from your uni degree? Like, you know, what are you doing? And I'm just like, well, you know, there's more to life than just your 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy with my decision, and I've got a few things up my sleeve. So,
Great. You know what I really liked about it was is that you seem so much lighter
yeah.
since then. Like even you jump on the Zoom, like, oh, you're glowing and you're super happy. So like you're actually a complete opposite of what happened on our first call together.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's only been say 5 months since then, and so the changes you've made. But so I think what I try and encourage people to do is to make sure that they're using money to buy happiness and not sadness. And I
Yeah.
think what was happening is, your money, you're striving for the money, and the money that you had
Mhm.
was striving towards, it was creating sadness
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
unhappiness, I think. And so that's really what it's all about, right? Because there's multiple ways to make money. It's a long journey. There's investing. There's
Hmm.
side gigs. There's different jobs. Even there's a different career. And so that when you're in this position of, I feel like I've got room in my life. I mean, even getting rid of that burden would have created
Yeah.
time for you to even spend time with the kids, but look at different things.
Mhm.
So tell me what's happening in your world now? What are you learning? What things have you learned through the mentorship so far? What are you working on, and where do you see yourself going now?
Well, with the 12-month mentorship, just knowing how to manage my money and not be afraid of it, and seeing where my money is actually going every month, and being able to invest my money, and knowing what compound interest is, and working towards that, is a massive thing for me. Have just like simple things like having an emergency fund. Like, I've asked a few people, like, oh, do you have an emergency fund? And they're like, what's that? And I was just like, oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
and just not being afraid of money, because I think I always used to I didn't used to understand money and think that it was so complex and it was very overwhelming.
Sure.
But just not knowing where to put it or what to do with it, and just not really caring, but, and just going from there, really.
So you've learned how to go at the world in terms of your finances instead of the world coming at you.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, not being
Great.
afraid of it.
So you kind of you're doing money now with intention.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and I love about how you're learning all these new terms and these concepts and principles, and you're implementing them. But I loved on our call last week where one of the things you have learned in the program is some other people and mentors that I've personally learned from too, and you've been able to connect with people even at work about these types of people and have conversations you couldn't have before.
Yeah, absolutely. Because just being afraid to tell people, what you're doing and why you're doing it, but just getting past those limiting beliefs, that mindset is like a massive thing.
Yes, definitely. And
Yeah.
you find you seem to be attracting nicer people into your world instead of do you find that it's just a different life is a different experience than what it used to be?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think people that know me already know that I'm a little bit woo woo and stuff like that. But, having positive affirmations and saying them daily every morning, and going to work and being like, today's going to be a good day, instead of going there and be like, oh, work again today.
Yes. Yeah.
It's such a different mental game, and it puts you in a different mental state, and prioritizing yourself, and with your self-care and exercising, it puts you in a different mental state too. So yeah, absolutely, it does. It changes so much.
Yeah, creates more opportunity in your day, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I want to ask you this. What do you think you are like now as a mum? Do you think you've changed a little bit? Like, have the kids said anything about? Have there been any comments or anything?
Yeah, I have. So I listen to a lot of your podcasts, and I listen to Morgan's podcast as well. And my kids actually say those things. So my son, actually, on the way to work the other day, I actually had you on the way to their before school care, and Jack said your introduction to Money Buys Happiness, and then I was like, what did you say? So it was quite funny that he is reciting those things. And even
That's cool.
Evelyn, like, Evelyn's like finding a way. She actually has a little business idea, side hustle that she wants to start doing. So
Cool.
we've just bought a couple of things for her to start making her little side hustle, and I'm going to help her out to do that. And they both know you and Alicia from me listening to you, and they're like, oh, so what are you doing? And are you going to speak to Lloyd today? Or how are their dogs going? How are their puppies?
How good.
So yeah, it's good, like teaching them skills as well, you know, like they have their own raise accounts. And my son just had his birthday recently, and he was like, okay, can I put $10 of my money that I got for my birthday into my raise account? And I'm like, yep, absolutely. And they're up to like $100 now, and they're like, oh, so you mean that if the more money I put in, the more rich I'm going to be later on? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, but I didn't have to do anything. And I'm like, that's exactly right, mate.
That's so good. It's incredible you're teaching all these lessons.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see the impact, you know, of Transformational Heidi and what she does for herself and then her children and then her own mindset and happiness. I think it's such a cool story, and what a great example you are for someone who had all the excuses not to change and then just went for it, and just, you're the absolute perfect example of investing in yourself, being coachable, and passing that on to your children, you're going to change their life.
Yeah,
I mean, you give them life, and then you're equipped to change their life. Like, you're equipped, and they're going to follow your example, not so much what you say, is what you do. So yeah, it's awesome. Well, I'm very glad that they are listening to the podcast and learning things with you, and that'll set them up, you know. So that's exciting. Well, keep me abreast of what they're up to. I'd love to give them a shout out wherever I can. I like to hear the kids' stories when they do well. A friend of mine who did our first year of the mentorship program, his son's got 60,000 invested now. Just wild.
That's
so
awesome.
That would be Jack. Yeah, you never know, right?
Yeah.
Like, who knows? So yeah, you've actually also started learning a little bit about making money as well. So you started a little side hustle to learn the skills, and you've only just started that. You've had a customer start, and you've made a little bit of money, right?
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about that experience. What's that been like so far?
It's been good. It's about, again, just getting out of your comfort zone and putting it out there, and just for me, it's also about wanting to. I come from a genuine place where I actually want to help people. I suppose that's why I'm a nurse, because I actually want to help people, and and I want to be able to show them a different way, because I think by the time they get to hospital, it's kind of too late. Obviously, if they have an accident, they broke a bone or something like that, that's inevitable. You have to go. But health-wise, I want to be able to teach people and show people that there's a different way to look after themselves and do that. So by doing my side hustle, that's a way of teaching that. So I think coming from a genuine place to want to be able to help people is a massive thing.
Well, the old saying goes, the more people you help solve problems, the more money you make.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, you know, I'd expect you to want to help a lot of people, and that would help you too. You know, like my dad always said, look after your client, they look after your bank account. And so I'm so pleased with how you're like falling in place with it and learning from it, and your attitude is just fantastic. I just love watching you. It's like watching a new person like discover the world. Like there's a whole there's a whole new world of positive things out there based on your amazing attitude that you've developed and this new identity you have. So it's going to be amazing. You're going to continue to make money. And with your career, you know, where do you see that going? What are some of the things you think you want to achieve now?
Well, for me, I want to leave my nursing role completely, and I want to work with my side hustle full time. So that's what I'm working for at the moment, and I want it. I'm going to say it out loud, but I want to do it before my daughter is in high school. So that's a massive goal for me. And
how many years we got?
3.
Okay.
So yeah, so I've got that in the pipeline at the moment. So we'll see where I want to do that for sure. and I want to get out of that 9 to 5.
Okay. Yes, I think that's an old paradigm that, you know, it's an old way of work and it's fine. But I just, from me to you, the moment I decided to do that back in 2010, I think, it took me probably 8 years to really do it. It probably, because I had to go through 2 career changes. So, but what I want to impart to you is this: when you decide it, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And once you make the decision, you're psychologically unemployable because because you've seen the promised land. You just know that's not how you want to live your life.
Yeah, for
You still
sure.
have to do work and help people, and, you know, and have be a person of value in the world. Otherwise, you can't make money and get paid. But there are different ways, right?
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
so I'm just glad you've made the decision. How that's going to unfold for you is part of the adventure,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. And I think you're well and truly on the adventure.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank
So,
you.
so it's really good. So my last question for you is this: what advice would you have to someone else? So, Matt, perhaps they're a single mom and they've got all these other things going on like you, or they're not too sure what to do, they're stuck. What would be your advice to them?
What would my advice be? Is you don't have to do it on your own. Find someone that knows and has done what it is that you want to do, and go and seek them out and learn from them. Learn everything you can from them, because you don't have to just follow social norms and be on this, you know, this hamster wheel doing your 9 to 5, because there are other ways in life. So just, yeah, you don't have to, you're not alone, and there's other people out there who have done the same thing, but go and find someone that will teach you the right way to do it, and it can definitely be done.
Amazing. So, "Play a Whole New World" song by is it is it the Disney film, "A
Yeah,
Whole New
the
World"? It is true.
yeah,
It's like, do you feel like you've escaped the Matrix a little bit so far?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm on the hamster wheel every now and then, but
Yep.
then mostly I'm off now, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, you're thinking a
Yeah,
different way, and it's just that's big. First, it happens here,
Aladdin. Yeah,
and then in here, and then right. So,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah, it's amazing. I love it. So we've got another 6 months formally in our mentorship program. Who knows what you're going to achieve in the next 6 months? It's going to be fantastic. But my job is to encourage you, support you, help you, provide training and ideas, and be there for you to in the highs and lows of this adventure you're on, to help you get to that goal of building the life you want to live. So I'm excited for you and very
yeah.
pleased to be part of the journey. So thank you so much for stepping out of your comfort zone once again, coming onto
Thanks.
live Instagram for the first time and sharing this with us. And by the way, just so you know too, you may be in our new book.
Oh, okay.
If you want to be, not much, but like there's a few little examples of people I'm impressed by that I put in there as little stories as to what some of the things they've done. So
Yeah,
you may make an appearance there with someone who's been able to eliminate some certain things in their life to create space to actually go and build what they want. So
yeah.
just keep an eye out for that one. But of course, if you don't
Awesome.
want to be in there too, also let me know. But yes, I'm thinking
I
about.
feel very privileged. I wasn't expecting that at all. It's like blown my
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. I was looking at the chapter the other day on one of the time rich laws that we're putting in place, and I think you're there. So maybe be cool for the kids to see that and say, "Hey, look, I'm in here." But I think it's
Yeah,
just a
for
good
sure.
example, right? Yeah. So I love your mindset. I love your courage. I think
Yeah.
that those are the two things you got for you, and I think it's gonna be awesome to watch you. So thank you again. Appreciate your time. And
Thanks,
hey,
Lloyd.
everyone who's watching this, go give Heidi a follow and give us some encouragement and support, and watch her journey.
Awesome. Thanks, Lloyd.
All right, see you on the call tomorrow.
Yes, you shall. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
See you, Heidi. Bye bye.